Hey, welcome to my channel. Okay, you guys, this is gonna be a short video. I want to play something for you in regards to Gabby Petito and Brian Cry Baby Dirty Laundrie. Okay, so the interview room was live last night, and I'm catching up right now. And I'm watching the live stream that they did last night, which is titled, What Brian Laundrie's Possible Secret Twitter Account. And then we can't see the rest. Okay. As I was listening to this, and you can see up to the white line here, as far as I've gone, right there, kind of, right here, that's as far as I've listened. I have not listened to the rest of the stream. I've gotten this far. Okay, but I had to rewind because I want you guys to hear what I heard. And I don't know if you watched this stream and if you noticed it, but I have caught at least 3 Class A EVPs. Now, right now on panel, we have Chris, Greg Cooper, or Coop, and then Francine, which she's a DNA expert, and she has created a touch DNA system that she talks about during this stream. Okay, but what they're doing right now is they are reviewing this possible Twitter account that could possibly belong to Brian, Crybaby, because he needs his baba. Dirty Laundrie. So they're going through and they're looking at some of the older posts that were done back before this trip that Gabby and Brian took on July 2nd. And one of the things that Coop said is, that past behavior is a predictor of future behavior. And I've heard that, and I've even used similar quotations of that. We can only judge somebody's future behavior on their recent past behavior. So that's all we have to go on. So with them reviewing this information, I think it's very helpful. And I do feel like I'm kind of learning a lot from Coop right now. But these EVPs is what is standing out to me right now. Okay, and I heard the first 2 and I was like, what? What was that? Okay, but the first one stood out to me so clearly. And then the second one I couldn't quite make out. And then the third one, I think I made it out, but I want your help. And I haven't listened to the whole thing. So I'm going to play these first 3 for you. And then I'm going to watch the rest of the stream. And if there's more, then I will record those also. Otherwise, I'll just end this video after I play the 3. Now, where I have the stream paused, it's at 59 minutes and 54 seconds. Right after this, here in about 30 seconds, 20 seconds or so, you can hear some audio interference where it kind of reminds me of like back in the day when you were talking on a cordless telephone and you got too close to something, like too close to the microwave or something, and it had that like static noise and you had to back away so that you could hear the other person clearly. That's what this audio interference sounds like to me. Now, I don't know whose computer it's coming from. I know that Coop did have problems with his audio when he was first starting out the stream. He came in late because of. So when Francine came in, she came in just fine. No audio changes or anything. And Chris was fine the entire stream. So everybody's been good up on the panel up to this point. So I'm going to play it so we can hear the audio interference, and then we'll listen to the very first EVP. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. Welcome to the Spirit Seeker Squad. My channel is true crime and paranormal. Okay. I do facts of true crime, and then we also discuss theories. But then I also do paranormal. I do spirit box sessions. I go to the cemetery. I do paranormal investigations. I do medium readings. I have cards that I made myself. They're not tarot cards, they're my cards, and I call them my DIY crime scene ancestry cards. So I use them to try to get answers about current cases or current situations. I have now used them on 3 private readings, even just in an everyday life situation, and they have been very spot on. I mean, very spot on. So if you're new to my channel, you can definitely go back and see some of the readings that I've done using my cards. I've done them in videos and in live streams, so you can see how they work. And I even have a live stream showing you how I made them and all the cards that I have made. I had a running list up until that point, and I went through every single one of them and what they mean in that live stream. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started here. And make sure you hit the thumbs up, please. Thank you very much. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring-a-ding the bell and choose the all options so you'll be notified every time I upload a video and when I go live. Okay, let's play.
Yep, let's go to the next one, Dil. Resistance only creates more problems. When a problem arises, you suddenly lose your focus and fight against the problem, only to find that the situation grows larger and more out of grasping control. Go with the flow or the fly. Okay, go to the next one. This one's really interesting. So many will.
Okay, so notice that that loud staticky noise is starting right now, and it seems to be really focused on this post. Okay, so it says so many wounds, so little time. And then the actual post says inner child wounds. So you have a guilt wound, abandonment, neglect, and trust. So those are the 4 types of wounds, and then it has each broken down a little bit here. Okay, why is it so focused on this post about child wounds? Because our very, very first EVP is coming up.
So little time. And he's talking about, inner childhood stuff here, or somebody is, right? I'm going to go with a bingo card. That either this guy knows him, or this is the guy here, because there's going to be some
it's somebody very much like him.
Or it's somebody very much like him. Yeah, good point. Good point. Thoughts on this one? Go.
Well, they're suggesting that whatever the conditions and challenges are, that it's associated with childhood and parental guidance or lack thereof, or experiences and difficulties that they had in their childhood. It's another way in which to.
Did you hear that? Right there, the EVP said it's a child. Now, I have the speed on 1.25. I'm going to put it down on normal. I'm going to go back 10 seconds, and we're going to listen to it, and we're going to hear it in 5 seconds. Okay, 5 or 6 seconds. We're going to hear the EVP whisper. It sounds like a whisper, but that's because it's an EVP. And it says, it's a child. Okay, here we go. And make sure you use earbuds. If you can hear this without earbuds, I'll be happy. But most likely, anytime I've ever heard EVPs, it's with earbuds. So I have both of my earbuds in, turned up completely. And when I first heard this, though, I heard it with just my one earbud in. So with earbuds, you should be able to hear it. Okay, here we go.
Or lack thereof, or experiences and difficulties that they had in their childhood. It's another way in which to lack thereof, or experiences and difficulties that they had in their childhood. It's another way in which to parental
One more time.
guidance or lack thereof, or experiences and difficulties that they had in their childhood. It's another way in which to.
Okay, so it said it's a child. So it's not an echo of something that Coop just said, because Coop never said it's a child. He's talking about children. He's talking about a child, but he never said it's a child. So I was listening to see, I always try to debunk shit, right? Okay, so I was trying to see if maybe it was an echo or like a reverb type thing or something, since the audio is doing something funky, and it wasn't. Okay, so I wholeheartedly believe this is an EVP. There's an energy around one of their computers that has taken over, and that's why the audio is jacking up like this. I mean, it almost sounds like space age, like beep, 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 beep type stuff. And I've never heard that before. And Coop has been on panel many times before. And like I said, they've all three been on panel all the way up until this point with the audio just fine. Not a single issue until this post comes up. Right before this post comes up, that's when we have the audio interference. And then as soon as this post comes up and Coop starts talking about it, we have the first EVP that says it's a child. Now I'm going to get to the second EVP that I heard, and I want to give you these times so that if you want to go back and watch the stream yourself without listening through my recording, I'll put the link in the description box to this live stream, and I'm telling you the timestamps right now. So the audio interference started at 1 hour and 15 seconds. This first EVP was right around 1 minute and 22 seconds. So 1 hour, 1 minute, and 22 seconds. So we're going to skip forward to the next one, which is about an hour and 3.5 minutes. So let me skip forward to that. Okay. This is the one that I could not make out exactly what was said.
Himself, and thereby alleviating accountability. Therefore, I shouldn't be responsible. If I'm not responsible, I shouldn't be accountable either. And so that's the mindset and the thought process of these folks, oftentimes, and a defense mechanism for sure.
Right there.
The mindset and the thought process of these folks, oftentimes, and a defense mechanism.
Okay, so that one was at 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 37 seconds. So let me write that time, the correct time down there. So 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 37 seconds. And this one is the one that I cannot make out. I have tried and tried and tried. I've listened to it multiple times. I've sped it up. I've slowed it down. And it almost sounds like they're saying no go. Something along those lines. That's all that I've been able to make out so far. No go. Okay, so the audio interference plays in here for a little while. The next EVP that I actually heard was at 107:16. Okay, so this should be good right here. And this is a different post. So now on the screen, we have this alleged Brian backup Twitter account. And the post says, "Hunt before you are hunted. Should now be a great weekend." And then we have Naked Cupid here with an arrow in their back with the angel wings. Now, how many times have we seen Gabby stand in front of a mural with angel wings behind her? Now this, we don't even know if this is Brian's Twitter. And this was posted back on February 13th, which was Valentine's Day weekend. Coincidence? I don't think so. Weird? Yeah. So if this is not Brian's account, this is most definitely, like, I see what Chris is saying. This is most definitely somebody who is on the same thought track as Brian, allegedly. Okay, so let's listen. Now, this EVP, it says right. One word, right.
This photo or this post was February 13th, long before her demise. So
Right
why
there.
would, or this post was February 13th, long before her demise. So,
And that one was a little bit more quiet, but it said right. Okay, and I know that some people cannot hear EVPs. Like, no matter what you do so that they can try to hear it, they can't hear it. My mom totally believes in paranormal. We had two ghosts in my house that I grew up in, that when we moved into the house, I was 5 years old. My mom and I had our very first paranormal experience together in that house when I was 6 years old. So my mom absolutely believes in ghosts and spirits and evil and demonic. Like, we know that there's both, you know, and it's there, and she believes in it. But she cannot hear EVPs. No matter how hard I try, I have caught multiple EVPs myself, some of which are here on my channel. My mom can't hear them. She just can't. If you go back to one of my very first videos that I posted on this channel, that is titled What Happened at the Cemetery. Okay, before I started this channel, I was live on my other channel, which is Mandy Mixed Media Queen, and I was doing mixed media art. I'm an artist also. Okay, well, I love paranormal, and I decided one night I was going to do a 3 a.m. cemetery challenge. So I packed up all my paranormal investigation equipment, grabbed my backpack, and out the door I went at 3 in the morning. And I went to a cemetery that I had never done an investigation there before. It was actually, that day was the first day that I had ever been there. We had buried a family friend that day in that cemetery, and that's the town where I grew up. But I never had been to that cemetery until that day. Okay, and it was a beautiful cemetery. It was a beautiful service. I didn't have any evil feelings whatsoever. So I decided I wanted to go back that night. And I was doing, after the service was over, and it was just a bunch of us hanging around, chit-chatting afterwards, I had turned my spirit box on. And I was listening. I didn't record. I was just listening. And that's when I learned I need to record everything. No matter what I do, how I do it, if I turn a spirit box on, I need to record it. So I ended up going back that night, and it was an amazing stream. It was a live stream. We found one tombstone, a married couple, amazing. I mean, that guy was talking to us like he was standing right there with us. I was driving my truck, my SUV, and I had turned my camera towards my truck. At one point, one of my watchers, one of my subscribers, my good friends, took a screenshot when my camera hit my truck. And he sent it to me. And he said, "You were definitely not alone. Look at how many people were there with you." And we ended up counting 16 different people and 3 different animals that we could see their reflection in my window. The only thing that should have been reflecting, if anything at all, because it was 3 in the morning, it was pitch black outside. The only thing that should have been reflecting were the trees. But yet, we saw people. And that is all included in the first video on my channel titled What Happened at the Cemetery. I ended up going back a second night. I ran into a dark entity, and that thing came home with me. And you can see him clear as day in that video. And if you want to go back and watch the entire live stream of both nights, and I did a spirit box session both nights The first night I did it at the cemetery. The second night I waited until I got in my driveway, because when I was at the cemetery, I knew something was off. And I explained that in the video that I made, of like all of the short snippets from the total of, I think it was like 13 hours total between the two streams, the 2 nights that I was there. It was like 6.5 hours both times. The second night after I left the cemetery and I said that that thing tried to come home with me, he did come home with me. I was almost to my house and I almost got rear-ended by a drunk driver. I mean, it's all on my live stream. Like, it was the craziest shit I've ever lived through in my entire life. And then that all happened. And then on Halloween night, I did another live stream where I did a binding for the very first time to get rid of whatever that damn black entity was, because it stuck with me. It killed my truck. A $10,000 Yukon, $10,000 Yukon, it killed it. Completely killed it. They can't fix it. Ever. Like, it's done. So, anyway, it's real, okay? It's real. So, I absolutely believe in it. But that very first night that I was there at the cemetery, I caught an EVP. I was doing a spirit box session, but the EVP that I caught was not on my spirit box. You can hear it in my video, in my live stream, but my voice recorder, I had recording at the same time the entire time that I was there, both nights. And when I caught that EVP on my live stream, the first thing I did was grab my voice recorder, queued it up to that point, and you don't hear it on my voice recorder. And my voice recorder was 6 inches away from my phone, which is what I record from, what I live stream from. So it was most definitely a Class A EVP. And when I played it back for my mom, she couldn't hear it. So, sorry, that was a whole ramble session, but that's a little history, I guess, on who Mandy is and kind of why I've become who I am today. So, there are some people that cannot hear EVPs. And if you're one of those people, that's okay. You'll have to just either keep going or accept our word for it, you know, the ones who can hear it. So let's listen to this last one more time and see if you can hear it. This one's a little bit quieter also. Okay, let me go back.
Photo or this post was February 13th, long before her demise. So why would...
Right there. Chris says long before her demise. And the EVP says right. Okay, so I'm going to hit pause. I'm going to finish watching this live stream, and if there are any other EVPs that pop up, I will definitely record those. Otherwise, I'll come back on at the end of the stream and I'll say, that was it. There weren't any more. Thanks for watching. Okay, so we'll see how much longer this video is. I'll be right back. Okay, we have a fourth EVP. Now, this one is at 1 hour, 24 minutes, and approximately 25 seconds. The last one, I don't know that I told you the time when I heard right. It was at 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 16 seconds. Okay, so far we have the radio interference started at 1 hour, 15 seconds. We heard It's a Child at 1 hour, 1 minute, 22 seconds. Then we heard Something that I haven't been able to make out, 1 hour, 3 minutes, 37 seconds. Then 1 hour, 7 minute, 16 second, and they said right. And now this one, I believe it just says, yeah. And it's at 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 25 seconds. So let's listen. And we are on normal speed right now.
From Gabby's phone, no service in Yosemite, and also help stand. And that's the very first one of the... The 30th, Gabby's mom receives cryptic text from Gabby's phone, no service in Yosemite, and also help Stan. And that's the very first.
Okay, so it's right after he says Stan. It says, yeah. Well, listen one more time.
The 30th, Gabby's mom receives cryptic text from Gabby's phone, no service in Yosemite, and also help Stan. And that's the very first, one of the very first pictures of.
And I mean, if you look at Coop and Francine, neither one of them even have their mouth open. So it's definitely not them speaking. And now we've heard it after Coop was talking, after Chris was talking. I mean, this is, and it sounds like the same EVP. It sounds like the same spirit. So I don't know who has somebody hanging out with them, but I feel like it's Coop. And I don't know if Coop believes in paranormal or not. Probably not, because most law enforcement don't. They think that if they can't prove it factual with evidence, that it doesn't exist. The majority of what I've heard from law enforcement. So I'm curious if Coop or even Chris believes in anything paranormal, because this is blowing my mind. And yes, Chris will be tagged in this. Whether he watches it or not, probably not. But I mean, this is a little bit weird, right? Like, why is it this stream with these three people discussing Gabby Petito? Well, more Brian, I guess. Discussing Brian, dirty laundry. But it's Gabby Petito's case. You know, it's surrounding her, but they're really discussing more about Brian. So, who's the EVP that's there? Who do you think it is? Let me know in the comments. All right, I'm going to hit pause and see if there's any more. Okay, so I just watched the rest of the stream, and I will tell you, if you have not watched this live stream yet, holy smokes. Francine is one smart cookie. I mean, we already know that Coop is, like, super intelligent. Chris knows his shit. Francine is right up there with them. I mean, she is amazing. So, if you haven't seen it yet, I would suggest go watch it. I just learned quite a bit that I didn't know about DNA, and Chris said that he was going to have her back, and I really hope she does come back, because I would love to hear her talk more. But I'm going to do one more run through here of each of the EVPs that I caught, which is more along my specialty, and then we're going to end this video. So right now I have it on 2 times the normal speed. And when I talk about the speed, okay, the 3 dots up in the right hand corner up here, you click on that, and it says playback speed right here. And you can select the speed. You can slow it down to 0.25 or speed it all the way up to 2 times the normal speed. So I have it on 2 times. I think I'll drop it down to 1.5. Okay, so this is just 1.5 times the regular speed. And we're going to listen to It's a Child. All right.
That it's associated with childhood and parental guidance or lack thereof, or experiences and difficulties that they had in their childhood. It's another way in which to guidance or lack thereof, or experiences and difficulties that they had in their childhood. It's another way in which to.
All right, now we'll slow it down to 0.5.
Experiences and difficulties that they had in their childhood. It's another way, or experiences and difficulties that they had in their childhood. It's another way.
I mean, that's just, I can hear it on normal speed. I can hear it on 2 times speed. I can hear it on 0.5 speed. Like, that is clear as day. Okay, so let's go ahead and skip to the second one, which I was unfortunately not able to make out yet. And I'm going to leave it on 0.5 speed. And it's coming up here in 4 seconds.
These folks oftentimes and a defense mechanism.
Right there, it almost sounded like they said both or whoa. I'm going to go back and see if I can catch that again.
Of these folks oftentimes and a defense mechanism.
Right there. Okay, let's go ahead and speed it up. We'll do it at normal.
And so that's the mindset and the thought process of these folks oftentimes and a defense mechanism for sure.
Okay, it sounds like they're saying both. Okay, so we'll speed it up now to 1.5.
That's the mindset and the thought process of these folks oftentimes and a defense mechanism for sure.
All right, it sounds like they're saying both. Okay, now we'll go to the third one, which is where we hear right, and it is at 107.16. And I'm going to leave it on 1.5 times the normal speed. We'll start there.
February 13th, long before her demise. So why?
That one is a little bit quieter, but I just heard it there. I'll slow it down to normal speed. We'll go back 10 seconds.
Photo or this post was February 13th, long before her demise. So why would...
We'll go back 10 seconds and we'll slow it down to 0.5.
Long before her demise.
That one was way softer. They said, right. Okay, and then the last one that I heard was at 124.25. So we'll skip forward to that. I am very interested to hear what you guys think about this. Like, and this is blowing my mind here. I am so surprised to hear it on this live stream. All right, now we are on 0.5. So we'll leave it on 0.5. Okay, so it is at 124.25.
Text from Gabby's phone, no service in Yosemite, and also help Stan. And that's the...
And that one was the same way. It was like, right. It was quiet and it was, yeah. Okay, so we'll put it on normal speed. And go back 10 seconds.
The 30th, Gabby's mom receives cryptic text from Gabby's phone, no service in Yosemite, and also help Stan. And that's the very first one of the...
All right, we'll go back 10 seconds and we're going to speed it up to 1.5.
The 30th, Gabby's mom receives cryptic text from Gabby's phone, no service in Yosemite, and also help Stan. And that's the very first one of the...
And there we have it. All right, so those are the 4 Class A EVPs that I caught during this live stream. And again, like I said, you can tell the people that are not speaking have their mouths closed. There's nobody else that's sitting there talking beside them. And it sounds like this person is whispering in their microphone. I mean, it sounds like they are right there. And we also had the radio interference or the audio interference during this, which tells me that there is an energy close to one of their devices. So let me know what you think in the comment section. I do apologize for babbling on about my experience, but that was a life-altering night. Both of those nights, I will never ever forget for as long as I shall live what happened to me both of those nights. So if you haven't seen that video yet, I'll link it below also. It's called What Happened at the Cemetery at 3 a.m. Something along those lines. What happened at 3 a.m. at the cemetery? What happened at the cemetery? Something like that. Anyway, I'll put the link in my description box, and I'll put the link to this live stream in my description box if you haven't seen it yet. I highly suggest you go listen to it, specifically the times that I gave you with earbuds, if you weren't able to hear it during this stream here, or through this video, through my video, because I am recording. I do have my mic on, and I'm sure I have a little bit of background noise myself. So if you heard any other EVPs, let me know, because that means that somebody is speaking through my device, because I haven't heard anything at all other than what I played for you. All right, so again, if this is your first time here, please make sure that you're subscribed, ring-a-ding the bell, hit the all option, and please make sure that you hit the thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let's finish this conversation down in the comment section. And until next time, I love you bunches.